Hi, and welcome back to Living My Fest Life, a podcast about festivals, fairs, events, and experiences, everything from the nationally known to the local and obscure. I'm your host, comedian Kelly Collette, and on today's episode, I'm talking with a comedian friend of mine about a very interesting event, the Gathering of the Juggalos. You'll hear more about comedian V.A. Bennett and his experience at this event. But I also kind of broke it up into two parts. We talked a little bit, and then on the way home in the car, we decided to keep talking about it. So I picked up the recorder and recorded that part too. So it's a little scattered, bear with me, but I hope you get all the cool information about this event and maybe try and check it out later. With that, please enjoy the episode, Gathering of the Juggalos.
I'm living my best life.
All right, I'm here with my friend and comedian V.A. Bennett, and we are going to be talking about a rather fun event called the Gathering of the Juggalos. V.A., can you tell me a little bit about what the Gathering of the Juggalos is?
Well, I mean, I guess to understand the Gathering of the Juggalos, you first have to understand, the Insane Clown Posse and that whole culture. I don't know who your fan base is, but it's probably not a lot of them.
Now, on a scale of Kelly Kapowski to Lisa Turtle, like, how preppy do I look right now in my sundress?
You're Jesse Spano.
I'm right there in the middle, just a plain on Jesse Spano. But I will tell you, I did listen to ICP when I was in middle school, and I dated a guy who was like a semi-juggalo.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so I didn't think you would know that just by looking at me. So I am familiar with the music. But for those at home who are not, Insane Clown Posse, how would you describe them?
Teenage angst.
Okay. Yeah, there's no real genre. I would kind of like put them in rock rap.
Yeah, some people call it like shock rap, or like some people call it horrorcore, but they're not really.
Horrorcore.
Horrorcore is like there's other like groups that they were influenced by.
Okay.
And, like, you can even hear some of that in like Eminem's like earlier stuff too.
Right.
Like rapping about murder and stuff.
A lot
like
of violence in the messages, but also but they're funnier.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And like the people that they're talking about being violent against are people that they're perceiving as like bad people.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a beef with cops and judges and stuff, which I mean, I guess that's anybody's guess, but they're
two members, right?
Yeah,
there's two of them.
There's Violent J, there's Shaggy Two Dope.
Yeah. I was like, that's Violent J, not Silent J, everybody. It's not Kevin Smith and Clown rapping for you. Okay.
Right. So, yeah, they're the guys that started it. They're from Detroit. They've been around for a very, very long time. They have a label called Psychopathic Records. Mm-hmm. And they just caught on like wildfire. They're like self-made millionaires, and they earned like this huge following, the Juggalos, which is, what we're getting to here.
Yeah, so why are they called the Juggalos, do you know?
That's just a name that Violent J came up with. I learned that from the Shockumentary. Which is actually,
there's a Shockumentary on them? Excellent. I have to watch that. I had a
VHS. And they, like, from the fan base, they started gaining, like, other artists as well, like on their label.
On their record label, okay.
So it got to the point where there were so many of them, and there were so many Juggalos worldwide. They finally saw through websites and all this stuff that they said, "Hey, wouldn't it be crazy if we took all the Juggalos that we could find and put them in one place?" And this is how the Gathering of the Juggalos.
And that's called jail. No, that's not called jail. I think that's very cool because why do you think it is that people are drawn to them?
I think they're drawn to them because, like, it's people who didn't really have like a sense of self, because at that age, you said middle school, you don't know what you're doing.
No. I mean, we were chain wallets and Janko jeans and kind of any kind of music that you felt spoke to you and what you were going through. You kind of just clung on a lot.
Exactly.
But like no one in my school wore the clown makeup. We just listened to the music.
Oh yeah, well you're not supposed to wear the makeup to school.
Okay.
But a lot of people wear them to concerts, and honestly, I think that's another part of the draw because people could kind of like hide themselves.
Anonymity.
Yeah.
Anonymity.
Anonymity is not our enemy.
Okay, so yeah, it's anonymity. Can't say it. It's the thing that Nemo swims through. You know what I'm talking about?
When people are just trying to be anonymous.
So they wanted to gather them all in one place to kind of celebrate the culture, the music,
all that, and it's different.
And it's called the Gathering
of the Juggalos.
Okay.
I want to say the first one happened in like 2002.
I want to say we're coming up on the 20-year anniversary. I think I sent you a text about that.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly. But yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, see, look, it says The 2019 Gathering of the Juggalos will be on Wednesday, July 31st, and ends on Saturday, August 3rd. Now, was it a multi-day event when you went?
Yeah, when I went, I think it was like 3 days. Okay. Yeah, it was definitely 3 days because I remember they had these passes. Like when you like bought your ticket online, they would send you like this thing in the mail that had like a book that had like all the events. There's concerts,
like a schedule.
Yeah,
a very organized.
Yeah,
absolutely. Chaos, but like it's like organized chaos.
Absolutely.
It's like, okay, this is where you can get your Mountain Dew, and this is where you can have your mom pick you up, and
exactly.
And this is not me making fun of anybody's culture. It's just, it just seems like those are what are the kind of things that you would expect to be at the event?
Well, like there's concerts. There's lots and lots of concerts. Not just people on Psychopathic Records, but like a ton of people. Like Vanilla Ice has performed at a lot of them. Tech Nine, if people are familiar with him, he's there like all the time now.
Okay.
I think like Ice-T has been there before. Like a ton of artists, a lot.
Because they are like a super respectable and super well-known kind of band. I mean, they've been around for such a long time. They stood the test of time, and they really have their fan base to back it up. So yeah.
And they can pay people, like real artists, to come through and like do real things. And
it's not like the Limp Bizkit 420 show at the Sunoco gas station that we see advertised every year that they actually don't show up to.
Right.
I mean, if you build it, they will come, right?
Right. The one I went to was in Peoria, like the Civic Center, or like some convention center or something. So
yeah, why do you? And it looks like this year it's in Springville, Indiana.
Yeah.
Now, do they have multiple locations, or is it typically just one?
They change it, I think. Well, they used to change it every year, but then they kind of went from the convention center to like an outdoor like campy thing.
Very cool.
Yeah, but the one I went to was in the convention center, and like they had like professional wrestling matches.
Very cool.
They had like concerts. They had seminars where you could like go and like talk to like all of the artists there.
And what would you gain out of that? Just kind of like a meet and greet, or is it more like, hey, this is how you could be an artist, or if you just want to talk,
Yeah, it's just whatever you want to ask them. Like you sit in the room and they talk about whatever, and like then they just open up the floor to questions, and then they just whatever you want to ask them, then they'll answer it.
Now, is it something like, aimed at a certain demographic, or did you see like all types of ages there, all sorts of ages there? Sorry, not types of ages. Or was it just kind of like who you typically would think would be there?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you think of what a juggalo would be.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to that. Because as we've, discovered, like, it could really, there's not really a stereotype associated with that, just because I don't think it's correct. I think the stereotype is, since they sing about violence, since they wear clown makeup, since their names are Violent J, what I mean? I think that people assume that the type of people that would go to this would be on the violent side. But in my experience, the kind of people that go to metal or rock or, I don't know, they're nicer, they're friendlier, they're kind.
It's funny that you say that, because here's a specific story from the time when I was there. It was during the second night before Twisted set. Like, they're like a group that's just as big as ICP in that community. There's these two guys are like shouting at each other like on the floor, and like they're like squaring up like they're about to fight. But the Juggalos are such like a close knit community that people circled around them and they started chanting "Family, family, family."
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And the guys ended up just like hugging it out, and nothing happened.
ICP sorority, I fucking love this right now.
Right,
that's amazing.
And while they're sitting there rapping about chicken hunting and all this shit, like.
Oh my gosh.
Can I say that?
I don't know what chicken hunt.
Oh no, can I? Do you cuss on this?
I've cussed before.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to. It'll be fun.
Was chicken hunting a cuss word?
Oh no! I said the S word.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I think you were saying chicken hunting, and I was like, not familiar with the slang, BA.
Yeah, that's a term, an ICP song about killing rednecks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I heard the one I listened to on the way here. It was about killing kids. So
wait, just any kids?
I don't remember what it was. It was like annoying kid. I think it was right before I picked you on the driving song when you wanted to kill the.
Oh yeah.
The drivers.
How many times?
Yes. So very good song.
For those following along at home, that's the Great Malenko, released in 1997, track 5.
My favorite ICP song was The Dating Game.
Yes.
Because I thought it was very clever. I loved how they used the actual game show kind of spirit. I mean, I just felt like as a person who grew up watching game shows that it was such a clever turn. And then the lyrics were so funny.
Yeah.
Someone played it for me, I think like 2 weeks ago, because they said they were going to go to the Gathering of the Juggalos, and I was like, oh, I love that song, The Dating Game. So they played it, and I knew every single word still. Like, it got in my head. It was very I don't know. It's just very memorable.
I haven't listened to a new ICP song since 2003 or something. But
they keep coming out with them,
But
and that's
that
very
song
cool.
you're talking about, the Nuttin' Game, it's called.
I think they try and fit the word nut into every single song they sing. I really do.
It's possible. But yeah, if you talk to like a hardcore juggalo about it, they think that's like the most poser song to love.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, then I'm a fucking poser. But that's, I love it.
Yeah, well, that's the one that got most people into it.
Like, I mean, well, you have to have a gateway one because they put up a very strong message of like, hey, this is who we are. And if you don't immediately relate to that, you might not be... The door might not open for you to listen, but a playful kind of, it's not a crossover, I wouldn't call it that, but it was just kind of, when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is funny. It's not as scary as I thought.
Yeah, it's just super clever, and like, a lot of the songs are really, really cleverly written. Like, I guarantee you, anybody who like hasn't listened to them, like, I was like, let me make you a mixtape. Yeah. I can... And I swear that I can make a fan out of you one way or another.
Well, I was listening to a couple more on the way over here, and even the melodies were super catchy.
Yeah.
And I know I sound like a super square white girl being like, the melodies are catchy.
But really like the bit.
I just really liked how they used the musical instruments. No, I just felt like it was very produced well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Back in the day, Mikey Clark was the producer. I'm giving like some history lesson.
I love this history.
On the clowns.
Because I don't know too much about them.
This is how deep I am into it.
Okay, so he just pulled up his sleeve to reveal a tattoo of a...
The Hatchet Man. That's the logo of Psychopathic Records.
See, my sister has like a Dave Matthews Band tattoo just like that, but I would say totally different genre, going the opposite way. So that's Hatchet Man. Yeah. Okay, tell me about him.
That's just the logo for the record label. Okay. I think Shaggy like drew it. Like, when they first started rapping, he's like, oh, this is going to be our label now.
And so you got it tattooed.
Yeah,
when did you get that tattooed on you?
I was 19.
Oh, okay.
I think that was about the time I went to this gathering.
Okay, yeah, I got some bad tattoos when I was in my teens, too.
Oh, that's
16, okay. But yeah, mine are all super preppy.
Yeah, this is the only one I've ever gotten, because I was like, well, I don't know if I can top that.
Yeah, no, it's very well done. Okay, so you went, and there were seminars, wrestling matches... All sorts of people, kind of a family. Did people wear the makeup? Yeah, there were a lot of people in makeup. Like people like kind of go like over. Shut up, Siri. Yeah, are you serious? Serious right now? Okay. So a lot of people was there. Okay, this is. Think of it as like a clown pride. This is me not making fun of Juggalo culture. Was there a face paint booth? Oh, for sure. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. There's face paint everywhere. Did people customize themselves? Are they like, this is my signature look. I hope no one else looks like that, because I know that it's kind of like Kiss. You know, you have the signature looks, right? And do people take that into account as well? Oh, absolutely. Like, some people will have Violent J paint. Some people will have Shaggy paint. Some people have Twisted paint. Some people have Blaze Your Dead Homie paint. Some people customize their own, and they all give themselves, like, clown names. Okay, that's my neck. Did you have a clown name? I did not. Okay. I called myself a Juggabro once. Why'd you do that? Tell us. Because, I don't know, I was black and insecure at 19. Yeah. And a Juggalo. You were like, it fits. Not a lot of me there. And you know why I stopped doing it? Why? Because I ran into Jamie Madrox of Twisted, of Psychopathic. Wow. At a Hollow Wicked show in Detroit once. And I went up to his car. I was like, hey, what's up? I'm the Juggabro. He goes, Juggabro, fuck that nigga. You's a Juggalo just like me. Aww. And he dapped me up. I was like, you know what? He's right. Family. Family. Yeah. Family. And then we fought. No. And then we killed people. Yeah. I want to know more about the event. You kept saying, there was a fight that was brought up, and you said there might have been some incident that almost brought the whole screeching show to a halt? Yeah, so apparently in Peoria... you're not allowed to expose your breasts as a woman, and I guess they're travesty. By the way, I'm still mad. Out. Still mad about it, but I guess like some girl like was flashing, and like flashing who? The audience? Yeah. The band. And this wasn't even during a concert. This was the middle of the day. This was like 2 in the afternoon. So just had him out. Yeah, because like we're just there all weekend, just clowning around. Technically, And she like just people like whoop whoop whatever. And she's just being a juggalette, being a down ass ninja, as you will. And she shows her boobs, and then these cops go to arrest her. What? Yeah, and that infuriates her boyfriend. Because the cops are arresting her. Yeah. He's like... And so one thing... Let her do her thing. Right, yeah. We're cramping her style. At the gathering, come on, bro. And, okay, this is where he probably messed up. He starts choking this cop. Okay, maybe not. I mean... And then that... It induces a riot. Like, they start, like, firing off tear gas and everybody, and then, like, all of a sudden, there's, like, cop cars from, like, surrounding counties literally, like, swarming in,
everywhere, and people are already like they were on edge. Like the people of Peoria who weren't like there for the gathering, they're all worried about it because like there's this huge
because people they don't know are coming in town,
right? And they're all painted
and they're painted, and it looks like
and they got chants and all this stuff. And there's a song actually that they released that year called "Gang Related," to where they kind of liken being a juggalo into being a gang.
Yeah,
and so some people
were concerned.
Yeah, I think they actually did classify juggalos recently as a gang, like on like the FBI watch list.
Oh, the FBI watch list classified juggalos as a. I would have not thought.
It's unnecessary and stupid.
Okay, so there was just a little incident of riot.
Yeah, but that's
one bad apple in the crowd. I mean, I've been to freaking Blink-182 shows where that happens. I've been to John Mayer concert where I saw a fight.
I got choked out at a Madonna show once.
Listen, it can happen anywhere. Like I'm saying, you put a bad apple in there, you put people who are on edge, and they clash. So there was tear gas. You said,
yeah.
And you said that
I was watching a wrestling show at the time, and then all of a sudden, like I started like choking. And I'm like,
you were like, the air is spicy.
Yeah, and then people come in, they're like, "Yo, get out of here!" Like, oh, all right, I guess we'll go. Then,
okay,
you know, and then that was.
Did
crazy.
You see the incident happening, or just hear?
No,
about it
everybody was talking about it though, because it was literally like I was like the next room over.
Okay.
But then,
and this was in the convention hall, you said. So you guys were in an enclosed space. So now there's probably like, this is we gotta move it outside.
Yeah, and this was like the second night, and we said another night. So for like the last night of concerts, there were police in riot gear everywhere, like holding these huge guns. Just kind of put like a damper on the whole experience.
So let me ask you this: is it a family-friendly environment?
I saw kids there.
Okay.
I mean, as long as you're okay with them listening to the music. I mean, I don't think that you would have to worry as a kid there. Because, you know, like I said, like family's family. As long as somebody, as soon as they see you're a juggalo, then you're cool.
If they're watching out, I mean, I know people that take their kids to concerts all over the time. God, I can't talk today. All over the place. And it's never a big deal as long as you're supervising them.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you said, there's crowd control. And probably the police were there to make sure everybody was safe, too.
Yeah, I mean, as long as your kid smokes weed, it's probably fine, you know?
If they're just into it.
Yeah. But no,
what a great way to introduce them.
Oh, that was one thing I worried about a little bit. Because, like, you know, juggalos do have, you know, crazy tendencies to kind of cut loose sometimes. And that's fine, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, but that's not unlike any other concert, I don't feel like. I remember when I went to Marilyn Manson, all my friends were like, be careful. And I'm like, it's fine. Like, the worst thing that happened to me was someone touched my arm and was like, I really love your shirt.
No.
Yo, oh my God.
I hate this shirt.
Just because someone plays a certain type of music you associate with something doesn't mean the people that follow it are not necessarily the stereotype that you would think that they are.
It's like earlier you said, like, when people, like, think that they're, like, violent and such just because of their lyrics. Like, okay, first of all, the guy's wearing clown makeup.
He's so friendly.
Yeah, how serious are you going to take him?
Who doesn't love a clown?
Well, apparently a lot of people now.
Okay, so tell me, they've been around for like 20 years. I mean, Gathering the Juggalos started in 2019.
Yeah.
So holy shit, like that's a long time.
Yeah,
they've made careers out of this. Now, do they have kids?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they definitely have kids. I'm not sure like how many and stuff, and I don't know if they listen to their music or not. But that is a good question.
Yeah,
I have some ties. I could probably get them in an interview.
Listen, guys, we need you here. Okay. I'm trying to see what kind of events they're gonna. It says click here to enter. So they even have like a whole. What is Faygo?
Faygo. It's soda pop.
Right, but why is it associated with them?
Okay, it's associated with them because when they grew up poor, right? And Faygo is like the cheapest soda you can get.
Okay.
So now when they just that's their way of saying, hey, look, we got Faygo to spare. And so they just throw it everywhere.
Hey, yeah.
That's like their celebration of like, we made it.
I love it. Okay. So Bone Thugs and Harmony are going to be playing at the Gathering the Juggalos. I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Ghetto Boys, Jedi Mind Tricks, Max Sabbath. I'm not familiar with them. I'm not going to pretend this is like a fucking...
I'm looking at this for the first time now, too.
Randy's Cheeseburger Picnic.
Gwar. KRS-One, he's legit.
And then we got Easy Mac. A lot of macaroni and cheese references.
There's a lot of fat juggalos.
Cheeseburger Picnic, Mac Sabbath, and an Easy Mac. I mean...
Not Mac Miller, though.
If they don't have food trucks, Mac Miller. Preach, Rehab, Motown Rage, Like a Villain.
Yeah, they're not all, like, rap groups either. Like, there's a lot of,
in like Springville, metal. Indiana. So why do you think that they come to these smaller towns?
Because they don't want to get tear gassed. And I think that the places they do them now are like more isolated, like out in the woods.
Yeah, and I think accessible fan base too. I mean, if that's where your fans are too, might as well go. And
I could only imagine going to those outdoor ones though, because I know that it's hot. And I know that not all Juggalos have like a propensity towards bathing on a regular basis.
Well, this tent looks fun. What is it? Texas Hold'em tournament, it looks like.
Yeah, they didn't see. Yeah, I'm sure they've expanded since. So there's some wrestling right there.
Yeah. Sideshows, wrestling, carnival rides, parties, 4 days with free camping.
Yeah.
Okay. So we told a good story about the family. We told a not so good story about the fight. But on average, what do you think someone could expect fun-wise to have at this?
Well, as long as you're not reserved and you could just go with the flow, you're going to have the most fun you probably ever had in your life.
Do you have to be an ICP fan, do you think, to go to this? Or do you think that a lot of these music, we're looking at the lineup right now. Do you think they're so wide?
Yeah, I don't think it has to be ICP. Like you just said, Texas Hold'em tournaments, carnival rides, wrestling matches, like whatever. You could be a fan of anything going on there. And as long as you can vibe with people and just not be an asshole, I think that you would have a great time there.
Awesome. Any advice that you would give to somebody who's not heard of this before, looking to go for the first time, or maybe is intrigued by what you're saying? I would
maybe try to find somebody who has been, maybe like a Juggalo guide, if you will.
Where do you find Juggalos guide? Where do you find your Jedi guide?
Jail.
No. We keep going back to that one.
Juggalos are anywhere. I guess it's just a matter of
Facebook groups now, probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's websites. There's forums. Fagolovers.net.
Fagolovers.net.
Yeah, realjuggalos.com. Those were the sites when I was into it, like really, really big. But yeah, there's nothing but fun. And another fun, uplifting story about last time I was there. One of our friends got lost, separated from our group, walking around.
And this was, and you said 2003-ish?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so we're 19 years old or something like that.
So it was light texting, but with Nokia phones for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're walking around looking for our friend Tiffany.
No, there's no pin drops, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Yeah. And all of a sudden we see Anybody Killa, who is an artist on Psychopathic Records, walking down the street with Tiffany.
Oh, so she just grabbed your local...
Yeah, and he walks up to us. He goes, "We were looking everywhere for you guys."
Oh my God, how was that feeling?
We were like starstruck for a second.
I know who you are. Do you know who you are?
We knew who he was, and he knew that we knew who he was because we were dressed the way we were, But I mean, it's just cool that they take that time to get that up close and personal. Like at the gathering right now, you can see Violent J just riding around on a golf cart
and say, "What's up, man?"
Yeah, in Hilltop. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And they're really appreciative of their fan base.
They're regular people, and they just rose to stardom, and they still keep in touch with their roots. It looks like
right. So if you go there, you can have all the fun you would want to have.
Listen, guys, expand your mind. Get your ass over there. You can get. Let's see. It looks like they're selling. Get your tickets today at these Down with the Clown stores. Now I'm going to name a couple. Karma Records, and this is my favorite. Magnolia Thunder Pussy in Columbus, Ohio. No Name Records, that's spelled with a K-N-O-W. Rock of Ages in Garden City, Michigan. Angelo CDs in Aurora, Colorado. So many places you can buy tickets. Check out their website. I feel like I learned a lot here.
Yeah.
About this.
I might go to another one.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I just think any kind of gathering like this is going to expand your mind. You're going to meet new people. You're going to see cool shit that you haven't seen before. I mean, this is so out of my normal, festival array that I think I'm very intrigued right now.
Yeah.
Looks like they got a lot of cool vendors too.
Yeah.
Psychopathic auction.
Everybody, there's some people that have gone to literally every single one. And there's people that come from Australia and stuff for it.
Oh, wow.
They're Juggalos worldwide,
Yeah, my sister, when she would travel to Dave Matthews Band concerts, we would go camping too. And the people who would paint their buses, they would fly flags. With any kind of cult following like this, you have people who are so invested and they kind of make the experience better for everybody else just by being who they are and being so giving of what they want to experience out of it. Yeah. They make the experience better for everybody else. Yeah,
that's actually, I didn't really think about that. Even if you're not into ICP that heavy, but you're willing to, go on that turf and just be accepting, I think the people would be super cool to you.
Yeah. So if someone like me in my little sundress polka dot
they wouldn't,
walking around, I don't think they would judge me.
There are people that would dress like that anyway. Some people are, have huge dreadlocks and the Jinkos or whatever, but some people just dress normal.
Yeah.
And then it's...
What, Jinkos aren't normal?
Well,
Come on.
I guess normal is subjective, right?
Normal is, and I think that's the point of the whole thing, the gathering.
Juggalos in general.
Normal is subjective, and this just happens to be the music I listen to right now. It just happens to be something that I'm into. It doesn't define me. I think one of the lyrics was like, I can take off my clown makeup and get a regular fucking job.
Yeah, exactly.
Is one of the things that, which I think is kind of cool about it, because anybody could be walking around being an undercover juggalo at any time.
Yeah. How many people didn't know I had this tattoo?
I didn't even know what it meant. I was just like, he has
I've known you for like 7 years
a Chucky on doll. I thought it was a Chucky silhouette with a cleaver.
That is a cleaver, yes.
Okay. But I was just like, that's something.
Yeah.
I'll ask about it later. I'll get in touch with that later.
Right.
I'll tell them about the, tramp stamp on the back of my, yeah. So I think that's really cool, because I really love the idea of something is not just as it seems on the surface.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, that's to tie it to comedy. That's kind of what that is in a nutshell. That's how I like it.
You would look at me and you walking down the street together and you'd be like, why are they friends?
Why
are they friends? Because of comedy, or because of the music we listen to, or, hey, fuck you, we can be friends.
Right,
or whatever. But
normal is subjective.
Yes, normal is subjective. I think that's probably the key taking away from this. Anything else you want to add?
Whoop,
Give it a
whoop.
chance. Oh, is that a cry?
That's the Juggalo chant.
Can I get a whoop whoop? No, I can't say it.
That's a
different thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can say it.
Womp.
Yeah,
that's not it?
That one fits you a little bit.
I go walk around with the tuba at all times. It's just kind of following me. Anything else you want to add about the event, or to people in general about Juggalos?
Just give Juggalos a chance, I guess.
Hug your local Juggalo.
Hug your local Juggalo.
Okay.
For just 1 cup of Faygo a day, you could send this Juggalo to a gathering.
Do it, people. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly.
I'm living my best life.
Okay, so how many Tetris combinations of bands are there? You were saying Dark Lotus is ICP and who? Twist?
Yeah, ICP and Twisted, and at first there was a guy named Mars, but then they had a falling out, and so they replaced him with Anybody Killer. And they'd write more dark songs that kind of touch more to the human psyche and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's like Eminem when he joins D12, it forms he forms a different kind of band.
Yeah. So there's them, and I mean Twisted's not even with them anymore, but there's also the Psychopathic Riders, which is they do gangster songs, and
and ICP is in that.
Yeah,
okay.
ICP and Twisted, and Blaze Your Dead Homie, who's also in Dark Lotus as well. And then there's a group that was Blaze and Twisted called ISI, I think they used to be called, and then they changed their name to the Sam Hain Witch Killers or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're dope as fuck, actually. I still listen to them.
I mean, it's just so cool because they don't play them on the radio.
No.
So really, to find out about ICP, you have had to have discovered on your own, or you would have had a friend come up to you and say, hey, listen to this CD.
That's exactly it, and that's how they got their whole thing. And it kind of gives it a cool factor to people. It's oh, nobody knows about this.
Yeah.
Twisted actually has a song addressing this exact topic called Bury Me Alive, where you're talking about, this is for you. This is your music. So, don't worry about the fact that other people don't listen to it. Find it and then fucking run and go bury it somewhere. This is yours now.
And this was I just keep thinking about Napster and downloading things how people would get it to begin with. And now it's probably in record stores. But
everywhere.
Before, you would have had to make a mix CD and hand it to somebody. I think that's very cool.
That's how it all started. I was gonna say something that I forgot that I was gonna say. Where you starting?
Burning Life, Twisted. Tell me about your favorite. Do you have any merch?
I used to just have a bunch of T-shirts and stuff, and jerseys, a House of Crazy jersey.
So when you would wear something like that, and someone else would be a Juggalo, and they'd recognize it, what was the reaction?
What up, ninja? Or whoop whoop, or what up, fam?
You're in a cool club that not a lot of people are exclusive members of. It's like having a members only jacket.
Well, a lot of people have the charm. The tattoo I showed you?
Yeah.
They have the charm, and if the people who are into it, they wear that charm every day.
Every day.
So that's their marketing. So you know one when you see one.
Okay.
Without having.
That's I listen to My Favorite Murder, the podcast.
Yeah.
It's my favorite podcast, and when I see that SSDGM bumper sticker, it's
stay sexy, don't get murdered.
Yeah, we kind of have this cool.
Yeah.
But now it's so big. I mean, it's so big now. If you're not a murderina, who are you anymore? But Juggalo is still maybe not even a widely accepted. I mean, people. Do you think people are proud to be Juggalos, or do you think they're hiding undercover?
The people that are Juggalos, especially the ones that were my age, they are super proud of it.
Okay.
But for people that used to be into it or whatever, they were so used to the ridicule and fucking people just shitting on it all the time. And you get older, and like even some of the stuff that you used to love starts to sound ridiculous after a while.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna wear a charm now, but I'm not gonna get my tattoo covered up either. It's just a reminder of where I'm from.
It's who you are. Yeah. I think that's very cool.
Yeah. Everything I've done is a part of my story, and I guess it's not gonna change it. Being a Juggalo has formed me into the person that I am today.
Yeah, and back then you didn't have to come out as a Juggalo. You were accepted in probably your group of friends that were also feeling the same way.
Exactly.
But now, like, if a kid's just discovering it, I mean, you don't see a lot of teen Juggalos walking around or anything like that.
Yeah.
So do you think that they have this kind of, like, I got to listen to it on my own, or do you think that...
Well, I think it's bigger now than it's ever been. And I think it's a lot more accessible, especially, like, since the internet has grown a lot since when I was doing that.
Yeah, we have YouTube. Yeah. You can connect on so many different forums now.
And one thing I have noticed with, like, some recent Juggalos is, like, there's sort of, like, these subdivisions of Juggalos, and they kind of, like, beef with each other and stuff, which I don't think is necessary, because it goes against the whole, what it was supposed to be to begin with. Mm-hmm. Like, normal
but then you have events like this that bring you all together.
Yeah, and that's when you squash the beef. When you start to fight, people are going to circle around you. They're going to chant family, family. That's never going to change at a gathering. There's some people who they see each other one time a year. Uh-huh. Your friend from Australia that you see once a year, he's going to be at this gathering. I have to be there, I remember this kid named Austin from Austin, Texas. We called him Austin.
Shout out to Austin.
Austin, if you're listening, I'm sure you are.
You download all things Juggalo, so you somehow stumbled upon this podcast.
Yeah, and it's a family. It really, really is.
Okay, so one quick thing. You and I were on the website, and we looked, and there are comedy shows. Yeah. You guys, as we are comedians, they have late night comedy shows. Tell me who we saw who's going to be on the fucking Juggalo lineup this year.
Gilbert Gottfried.
What?
Can you believe it? I'm a Juggalo. I don't do impressions.
I can't believe I'm a Juggalo. You got the makeup. Where am I?
Oh my God, I just imagined that set, and that sounds like something I would love to see, actually.
Oh my gosh. So... listen, Juggalo community, if you're out there, V.A. Bennett is a fellow Juggalo. He is a comedian. 2020 will be the 20th anniversary. We need him on this show. Okay, just wanted to plug that. And thanks again for continuing this convo.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly.
I do recommend you go to the website and check it out. It has everything from where you get your passes for where you can camp, like the Big Bala campsite. Oh, yeah. To the schedule of events, pavilion rentals, what to bring, the Psychopathic All-Star Experience, which includes the all-you-can-eat buffet. Really cool stuff. So please just dive into this website. And again, if you have any podcast topic ideas, if you have festivals, fairs, events, or experiences you think I should talk about, please send them over to me at festlifepodcast@gmail.com. And you can follow me at my website, kellycollette.com, or on social media at Kelly Collette. And stay tuned for more episodes coming up every week. Thank you. Go fest yourself.
If you're broke,
then save your money.
Get a job.
Don't get that coffee.
Once a week, I'm living my